important to stay safe, especially when we're spending so much time sitting in our cars in traffic. Luckily for us today, we have the visit from our friend, John Saunders. He's the director of the DMV's Highway. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
So happy to have you with us because we have a lot to talk, but especially how important it is to be safe. Now, earlier today in the show, we were talking about Americans and drivers, especially. We spend so much time sitting in our cars when we're sitting in traffic. It is very important to wear the seatbelt when we're doing that, when we're waiting in a car, or not necessary?
Very necessary.
Very.
Very necessary. Whenever you're in the vehicle, and whether you're a passenger or you're behind the wheel, you need to be buckled up. And so that whether you're sitting in traffic or whether you're moving, it is the best protection that you have when you're in that vehicle. And I never want to fail to point out that seatbelts last year saved over 15,000 lives. And sometimes we think that if I'm in the back seat, I need not wear a seatbelt, but that's not true. Unbuckled passengers are not just at risk for themselves, but they also pose a risk to the driver of the vehicle. One study even shows that more than doubles the fatal opportunities of a frontal crash for a driver if, in fact, there is a passenger unbuckled in the back seat, because they truly become projectiles. And so it's very dangerous. So if you're in the vehicle, no matter what seat you're sitting in, make sure you're buckled up.
That's right. And that was my second question. Like, if it was important to wear the seatbelt, even if we are in the back seat. Now, the reason that I ask you this is because the other day I experienced almost 30 minutes sitting in my car, and I saw people coming out of the car, smoking, dancing, talking, and when they went back, they didn't put the seatbelt right away. So that's why I've come up with that question. Now, what is the most common mistakes that drivers do in general?
In general.
Like if they don't use the seatbelt.
In general, one of the biggest mistakes they make is think that, well, I'm just going on a short trip, or we won't be in the vehicle long, so I don't need to wear my seatbelt. We hear that oftentimes, and we also have the data that shows that many crashes happen within 3 or 4 miles of your home. So there's never a trip that's short enough that you don't need to wear your seatbelt, and that kind of carries us into also being sure that everyone knows that when they're in the passenger seat or with you in the vehicle, that you're not going anywhere until they buckle up. So you need to, as the driver, you need to ensure that everyone in your vehicle is buckled up before you move on down the roadway. So that then leads into also that we have to be an example and be sure that we're a good example for everyone to make sure that they always buckle up.
Yep, that's right. And it's our responsibility to enforce that in our car because that's part of our control at that time. Now, October is a lot of things going on, but one of the important events that we have right now is Halloween. Do you have any tips for parents when they're going to take the kids for trick-or-treat at night?
Well, we can surely talk about that, but as we talk about October, it is also a Safe Teen Driver Month, and so we'll be looking between the 15th and the 21st. We'll be focusing on teen drivers, and it's very important that we point out to our teen drivers to make sure that they also understand that they need to wear your seatbelts whenever they're behind the wheel. About 50% of our fatalities involving teens are unbuckled, so we want to make sure we talk to our teens. So when you're out and you're going to those Halloween festivals, what you need to do, especially if you're going trick-or-treating and you're going to be out, you want to be seen. So we want to make sure that your children have reflective tapes. Maybe they have a flashlight with them.
Yes.
Always good to have an adult accompanying them as well. And just follow the common rules of being sure that before you cross the road that you look both ways, that you just make sure that you do those safe things that you would always do. But be sure you're visible. And be sure you just watch out for traffic.
Yes.
And as drivers, we need to slow down.
Even if you're driving your own neighborhood, because sometimes you get confident, I'm just right here in the neighborhood, so I don't have to wear my seatbelt. No, you have to wear it all the time.
And all the time, yes, yeah. Yes, all the time you wear your seatbelt. It is the best protection. It is the number one protection that you have against other drivers and other drivers making bad decisions. So it will save your life more than 55% of the time. It will, if you're the driver, it will impact the saving of your life. So and as a passenger as well. You play a risk if you decide to gamble on not wearing your
Yep.
seatbelt. Your life is worth more than that. So
That is
we
true.
encourage you to just always buckle up.
That is
Always
true. Well,
buckle up.
thank you so much, John, for keeping us safe on the road and everywhere all the time when you come in here to Living 7x7 and help us with this amazing tip. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, thank you. Now we have to go to commercial break, but coming up next, I know Ashley, she's very excited because she has to keep talking about food, her favorite topic, right after the break.